Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 43 of my Started From Scratch series. And to kick it off, we come up against a really solid side to begin with. We got the gold Shay Given, and the rest of the squad was a silver Premier League side. And damn, these silver Premier League sides are boss. I have one myself, although it's a little bit different. The wingers are a bit different, the attacking forces, but nevertheless, these sides are absolutely monstrous. They're a lot of fun to use as well, although, you know, when you come up against them, you're really going to have to get the sweatbands on, because you know that you're going to have to put in the effort to beat them, because they are really solid sides. But there, Menez getting a beautiful chip. Thank you very much, Menez, and that makes it 1-1. But straight off the kickoff, this guy was like, I'm not having any of that. And he plays some really nice football, and admittedly some poor defending there from me, and he manages to put it away with Routledge. And, you know, this guy was definitely a really good player, and you know, I always admire coming up against good Ultimate Team players. It knows that, you know, there's still a lot for myself to improve on. And Gibson there rocketing one into the top left. But with this team, you know, I'm noticing one really big issue that I'm having, which is squad depth, and you know, just keeping the squad fresh, making sure there's fitness and subbing them in and out. My subs, I really do need to start, you know, just like I said, deepening the squad, make sure I can sub people in and out to keep fitness, injuries, all that stuff sorted. But there he is, Bergaud, I think is how you say it. Is it Bergaud or something? I'm awful with accents, names, all that stuff. So, but he managed to rocket one away, and he's an awesome bronze striker, and I'd recommend him to anyone. There, Menez, Jeremy Menez, doing work, and 84 informed player is an absolute monster. And there, my really poor defending left a huge gap in the defense, and obviously he was definitely going to punish me away with the near post goal with Dorente. Now, Dorente is actually a really underrated silver player in this game, and I'd recommend him to anyone who can't afford the likes of Sinclair or someone along those lines, because he is actually really good. And Jeremy Menez, you know, I did talk about him in the last episode of Started From Scratch, and what I was told on Twitter was that a lot of people said that his price suddenly rose, and honestly guys, I apologize for that. I can't really do too much as far as that sort of things go, because I want to give my opinions on these players, but you know, I can't really do much if the price of the players, you know, rockets because of what I've said in a video. Honestly guys, if I could, I would try and prevent it as much as possible, but I don't want to make it to the point where my videos are lame and I can't state my opinions on certain players in case their price fluctuates. So once again guys, I'd like to apologize for that, but hopefully you guys can understand and accept the fact that that sort of thing's out of my control. But you know, this team that I come up against here was actually pretty nice. You know, his chemistry wasn't exactly great or anything, but he had some nice players in there. And one player that I haven't tried in Ultimate Team that I really would like to try is Papis Cisse. And there, Remy, would you like some salt with them chips? What a boss. But yeah, like I was saying, you know, I really haven't tried Papis Cisse. There's an informed version of him as well. I believe he's an 84, and he had an absolutely stunning season for Newcastle when he arrived, and just really surprised me, because I never really heard. Well, I had heard of the guy, but never really watched or seen him play. But from what I've seen for Newcastle, he looks to be a very promising player, and I hope to see him do really well in the Premier League next season. And I'm sure Newcastle will do well next season, and you know, they kind of deserve the success. It's been a long time coming. I believe they finished 5th, or I think they just missed out on Champions League anyways. So you know, I'm sure they'll be a little bit disappointed, but nevertheless, it's still been a great season for those Newcastle fans. And Remy's pace in this is just incredible. He's such a huge reason why I've scored so many goals. I mean, you can just blister down the wings, like you guys saw there, cut in, do a cheeky roulette past the defender, and it seemed to do the job pretty nice and easily. My bronze players still really need upgrading. You know, I do decide at the end of this, I'm not too sure if you guys get to see it, but you'll see it next episode. I needed to purchase a new player, and that player was a left back, because my defense is really quite weak. There's one centre back, I can't name his name, I'm sure you guys will see it next episode though, that is actually really good. He's a silver French centre back. His name, I believe, starts with an S, and he scores headers like no other. He is an absolute monster at centre back, and just a fantastic player to play with. Then I came up against this chap here, 46 chemistry. That was always going to be, you know, heavily in my favor when I come up against a guy with this sort of chemistry. He had a very strange side. You know, he didn't really have any sort of theme to it. He had an American strike force there. But this guy, I played him, and he pretty much just rage quit instantly. You know, I scored goal quite early on, and it was a bit unfortunate for him, but I don't know. I mean, I rage quit a lot on my main account. I don't know about you chaps. You guys let me know. Do you guys, you know, rage quit on a regular basis or not? Do you guys keep going? does the DNF to you guys matter? Like, what's the sort of feeling around rage quitting for you chaps? For me, you know, I rage quit if the connection's really bad, and I don't really want to waste 20 minutes of my life in a really glitchy FIFA game that I'm not enjoying at all. Now, if the guy's, you know, not playing in a really, I want to say, cuntish way, I suppose, then, you know, I'll stay in the game because that's just FIFA, do you know what I mean? But if it's lagging and it's just glitchy and it's just not an enjoyable game whatsoever, then I'll just have to back out purely for that reason. And that really does quite annoy me because, you know, you guys can see here there's a little bit of lag, but I decided to play on. But as I said, I managed to get quite a nice chip goal right off the bat in the second minute of the game, and that was just enough for him. He had had enough of that. Remy is an absolute tank with that pace, so that was that, and the guy decided he'd had enough, and unfortunately he decided to leave. But you know, there's been quite a little bit of hate recently, and I just want to say a huge thanks to everyone that supported me. And you know, it was all just a bit of fun on the live stream, and I apologize if it came off the wrong way, I suppose, but I hope you guys could understand it was a bit of a laugh. JJ made the decision himself, and trust me, ladies and gentlemen, he will make it back very quickly. Trust me. You know, it's not a big deal, and I mean, I've spoken to JJ. It's not like he doesn't like me anymore. You know, it was all just a bit of fun on a live stream, and unfortunately some people took it the wrong way. But I just want to say a big thanks to the people that have really just, you know, supported me, I suppose, and just not taking it just from what they've seen on the video and things like that. So just a huge thanks for that, and I hope to see you guys around. Thanks a lot for watching. If you could like, favorite, share the video, whatever you guys want to do, I'd really appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye bye.